Welcome to the Quick Bytes live stream with your tech integration specialist, Scott Conway. Welcome and thank you for joining me. In this episode, we're going to take a quick look at how to use the code block building block in a Google Doc. I know there's a lot of rhyming there, and that was unintentional. But as I have done in the past, we showed you how to kind of build in the email draft building block. And in this episode, we're going to kind of take a quick look at another function within that realm in a Google Doc, and that is how to insert code block or format your code block. As you'll see, it's really more about formatting in a Google Doc for storage purposes. Unfortunately, I'm unable to accommodate live questions in this episode, but please feel free to contact me at the email on my YouTube profile. If you haven't done so already, please click subscribe below so you don't miss out any of my episodes. All right, let's quickly show you how to do this. This is not a very long demonstration. This will probably be my fastest one yet, but let's take a look at it here. I've got a demonstration document. This is a SQL query. In addition to some column queries. This is something I use for a plugin in PowerSchool as part of my job with maintaining PowerSchool. I use this code to kind of dictate and export to a third-party platform. In any event, what you're looking at is just some code, right? And in a Google Doc, it can sometimes get a little funky and it doesn't really format all that well. This one actually is not too bad, but if you've ever tried to just store code that you've written in a Google Doc for safekeeping, you know that it doesn't sometimes kind of play out nicely like it would in an HTML editor or some other type of code editing software, even just a plain text file, right? So Google has gone and built out some functionality in Google Doc in that building block functionality here called code block. And you can see if you come down into the insert function, building blocks about halfway down, you go down past email draft, what we have done in the past, to code block. You'll see that they've got a couple different formats here, C and C++, Java, JavaScript, Python, and then unset. And really what you're doing if you're picking one or the other, and you can pick any one, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be that actual type of code, but what it's doing is it's really formatting and highlighting the key elements for that code. So you'll see, I'll kind of show you what it looks like to move back and forth between these two, or excuse me, these 4 or 5 here that are listed for you. But for all intents and purposes right now, we're just going to use this demonstration text that I have here, this set of code. You can either set the code block up first and then copy paste into it, or in this case, I already have the code. I really just want to select the code, come up to insert, go down to building blocks, over to code block, and then I can pick any one of these. Now I'm going to start with unset. You can see what happens. It quickly makes this little formatted area in this kind of grayed dialog box inside the Google Doc. And you can edit this as you wish and refresh, and you can actually change the formatting later. What I need to do right now, because it actually kind of looks a little worse than what I had, right? I'm going to actually change my orientation under page setup. So that's file, page setup, landscape. And you'll see that this will format a little better. And I don't really see it all on one page, but I can at least see it formatted left to right pretty easily here. And you can see in the unset code set, it's going to highlight everything kind of in green. All right. But if I change that now to, say, JavaScript, I can see that I'm highlighting the very important things that I need to: variables, text, fields, things like that. So that's really where the difference comes in. And I'm not sure that any one of these is going to be any different. Python's a little bit different. You can see it dropped off the name equals there, coloring. But most of them are going to kind of give you the key elements. So yeah, JavaScript was the only one that kind of highlighted that in this set of code, right? So it depends again on the code that you have. So this is not a very glorious functionality. It's just, I'll say, one of those simple little functions, abilities really in Google Doc that just makes it easier for you to see your code that you've stored in there. I can't tell you how many countless other docs I've done this where I've used code in a page that I'm working on in PowerSchool or for a website, and I want to save what I did. And Google Doc is the nice place to keep it, because obviously I can edit it and work with it later on. But formatting, when it comes to code in a Google Doc, is not as nice as it should be. And it could be in other, as it would be in other platforms. But now with this code block, as you can see, I can just insert code block and convert it so that I can read it easily as if I were in another type of software that kind of formats it for you. So might not be the best for everybody, but again, if you're storing stuff in Google Docs and it's code, this insert code block function might be just the best thing for you for formatting. I'd like to thank you for joining me on this episode and hope you'll join me again.